So around January of 2011, I took up longboarding with a group of friends, particularly downhill longboarding, and we thought it was really fun. We'd watched a bunch of movies on it and documentaries, and we thought it would be a lot of fun. So we all grabbed our boards and went up to the steepest part of Napa, which is called Browns Valley Road, and it's this big winding road that goes all over the place. It's really smooth, and at night there's no cars. So for the last year and a half, we did that. We did downhill longboarding at night. And being the geniuses that we were, we didn't wear helmets or pads or anything because we're invincible, right? And so then comes April 16th, 2012, where in a particular night of stupidity, I skipped my English class that night and decided to go downhill longboarding with a group of friends. And so we get to the top of the hill. Everyone's really excited, slash nervous, but we'd done it a lot, so it wasn't that bad. We go down the hill. Everything goes just as according to plan. At about 30 miles an hour, me and my friend Bobby clip, and our wheels collide, and we fall. He was a 6th degree black belt, and because of that, was very, very good at landing. So he knew exactly when to tumble and roll, and he actually ended up on his feet. I, on the other hand, was not so lucky. I got road rash severely on this half of my entire face. I cracked my elbow into about 12 different pieces, and the tip was completely turned into powder. And so because of that, I was rushed to the hospital immediately. At first I thought it was dislocated because it was protruding completely out of the side of my arm. Not through the bone itself, but just as a giant lump. And then, after some x-rays, they concluded that it was completely fractured. I went under surgery. 3 hours later, I got this, about a 7-inch long scar that goes up and down the backside of my arm, and a titanium plate held in place by 6 screws. Pretty much right after this, it took about a month and a half to get out of the cast. I immediately started physical therapy. That lasted about 60 days. Just recently I've been able to actually fully move it. Rotation is still heavily an issue. The two bones, my ulna and my radial head, will not rotate around one another and because the tendon is still very sore and swollen, and so is the muscle. So I have to wear a special brace in order for this to rotate, which I have to wear several hours a day. But hopefully in the next 2 months I'll be able to get back to the gym and work out, because I've lost about 35 pounds overall of muscle, and I'm assuming some fat. And so that's been pretty rough. And within the next year and a half I should be able to get this taken out, and then my bone will heal the holes from where the screws were left and I'll be good to go. At least that's the hope. So when they did the surgery, I bled into my own arm, as you do when you have surgery, and because of that I actually have a rare skin condition where the skin itself sucks up all the iron in your blood, and the iron itself discolors your skin. So it's kind of a non-elected permanent tattoo. So everything that you see up and down my arm is completely nothing but iron that's been adhered to my skin, and it will be like that forever. So yeah, not really the first tattoo I thought I was going to get, but I guess that's what I'm going to have to live with. So as I said earlier, I have to wear a brace in order for these bones to rotate so I can turn my wrist. And that is this beast. Pretty much I just put my arm in, and then just strap myself up. So once I finally have this thing on, what you do is you take the crank on the side and you rotate it. You rotate forward to rotate the wrist, and it turns it palm up. So if you watch my hand, it actually slowly rotates the hand to where it's facing palm up. I can't do this all the way at first because it has to loosen up the joint, And eventually what it'll do is it'll take it from this to this over like the course of about a half hour. And once that's done, you let it sit there for about another 30 minutes. And it loosens up your joint. And loosens up the bones and the tendons to let your hand actually rotate, your wrist rotate. And yeah, I have to use it about 3 times a day. I'll wear it to classes and leave it on as long as I can, hoping that I can get my rotation back hopefully by Christmas would be my goal. But yeah, and that is the story of how I destroyed my left arm.